of the soul does not need to be serious. Hmm? It should be fun. And that is what the churches must learn because they put so much seriousness in it. Hmm? Oh, Betaji. Oh, Betaji. Oh, Betaji. मैं तुमको चाहूँ जी मैं तुमको चाहूँ जी ओ बेटा जी ओ बेटा जी हाथ में हाथ लगाओ चालो जी हाथ में हाथ लगाओ चालो जी ओ बेटा जी ओ बेटा जी दुनिया हमारी सब आओ जी ओ बेटा जी ओ बेटा जी मैं तुमको चाहूँ जी चाहूँ जी okay, it doesn't matter मैं तुमको चाहूँ जी ओ बेटा जी ओ बेटा जी हाथ में हाथ लगाओ चालो जी ओ बेटा जी दुनिया हमारी सब आओ जी ओ बेटा जी ओ बेटा जी ओ बेटा जी मैं तुमको चाहूँ जी ओ बेटा 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 जी It's fun, isn't it? We'll write the translation of it in between the lines later. Okay, fine. Now, this is a purificatory practice on which we are preparing a booklet in America. So I'm not going to go into explanations about it because you'll be receiving a copy here of the booklet, which will give you the full meaning and understanding of it. Okay. Water? Now you just follow what I do. Okay. Thank you. Ciao, beloved. Om Bhurvah Swaha Tatsviturvaranam Bhargo Devish Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayata Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now, left hand, hold your glass in the left hand. Dip your fingers after I say this mantra. Sanno Devi Rabishtayapo Bhavantu Pite Sanno Rabishta 3 times. Om Sanno Rabishtayapo Bhavantu Pite Sanyo Rabishvantu Naha. Om Sanno Devishtirabhavishyapo Bhavantu Pite Sanyo Rabishravantu Naha. Now, the second step. Om Vaka Vaka. It's a pity we haven't got it written down. Never, just listen. Last time I know you wrote it down on the board, didn't you? We'll start again. Om Vaka Vaka. Om Prana Prana. Om Chakshu Chakshu. Om Shotram Shotram. Om Nabir. Om Hridayam. Om Kantha. Om Shiraha. Om Bahulya Yashobalama. Om Kartalapushte. Om Bhua Punatu Sirashi. Om Bhuha Punatu Netra. Om Swaha Punatu Kante. Om Maha Punatu Rade. Om Janaha Punatu Nabhyam. Om Tapaha Punatu Padyo. Om Satyam Punaha Shirasi. Om Khan Brahma Pushte Sarvatra. To the world. Right. Now, this one goes this way. Om Bhuva. Repeat with me. Om Bhuva. Om Bhuvaha. Bhuvaha. Om Swaha. Om Maha. Om Janaha. Om Tapaha. Om Satyam. Okay, that's done. I think I need a sip of water. Now, there will be a booklet sent, which we are busy preparing, on the meaning of this and how the mind is to be led to the purification of the main centers of your body. Now, this will help you in ridding many of the diseases that you might have. But there's a method to it. This is just introductory. Good. So we are busy preparing a booklet in America on it, and a copy will be sent to our secretary, John. Okay? And of course, we can always do some psycho-styling and post it out with the meanings of all these mantras, because they're very powerful in their vibratory effect, but how to use them is very important. Good, sir. What shall we talk about today?
We're going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Going to continue talk we started yesterday on about death and dying.
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? No, it won't. Don't you worry. You carry on. My eyes are far less important than the message. Let me know when you're ready. Death and dying. What is death? I die at least 100 times a day. And you know how that happens? It is when you can separate yourself from your mind and body, then you are in death. Do you see? That's all what death means. Now, before a person dies, he goes into a state of unconsciousness. But that is not the way to die. Now, through spiritual practices, if you can experience death and life every day, then when the time comes for you to shed the body, you die consciously. And dying consciously is such a beautiful experience. For you're merging away into another dimension. You're leaving the three-dimensional body to merge into a different dimension, which is so subtle, so refined, so beautiful, where there are no conflicts. In the dimension we live in, life is filled with conflicts. So, if you know how to die consciously, then you will see the beautiful transition from the conflict of life into the non-conflict of death. It's a blissful experience. It is more blissful than what you know as life. And really speaking, if you would go down to the bare factors of life, you will find that there is no death. You're living all the time. Shedding a suit of clothes and putting on another set of clothes does not mean that you're dead. You're just changing clothes. Stepping from one room into another does not mean that you become non-existent. For you are existing. Because you are immortal. Hmm? What you're doing is just shedding one set of clothes and putting on another set. Huh? Hmm? But you, your real self, could never die. Hmm? It is immortal, it is eternal, and forever there. It was, is, and will be. Hmm? So the greatest fear people have is of death. Because to them death is so... Oh, June. Death is so unknown to people. But if we can learn to die while we are in life, then when that moment comes of discarding this rotten piece of flesh and bones, there will be no fear. Right. So, from the known, you proceed to the unknown, and because you have to proceed from the known to the unknown, there is fear in your mind. And fear is the cause of all the maladies, all the diseases, and all the suffering. Man only suffers because he fears. And fear can take many forms, but the root of fear is of the procedure from the known to the unknown. There is the root of fear. And if we should go deeper and deeper into the subjects, all the psychologists and psychiatrists will be out of their jobs. They could become plumbers rather. So what are they doing to you? Are they really explaining to you your fear? They're diving into the darkness of fear instead of infusing the light which destroys fear. So now, to recap. The basic fear is from the known to the unknown, and what is unknown to you, you call death. And yet, you have died so many times, you have left this body so many times, and have been reborn so many times, over and over again in the process of evolution. But thanks to God that you don't remember it. Yeah. Because if you remember it, then He will not have this power to push you forward. So what a great gift of forgetfulness. You have been born many times and you have died many times. You have shed the body many times and you have taken on another form many times. But you've forgotten it all. So today, you think, what will happen to me when I die? I don't want to die. I don't want to leave this body, which is so precious to me. But is it so precious? Is it really? If it was so precious to you and so important to you, then why are you suffering? Huh? Yes, see. So we get involved with the process of suffering, and that suffering comes from fear, and the basic cause of fear is death. We cling to what we assume to be existence. But is it really existence that you are living now? No, it's not. You can only know of existence when you know the inner self of yourself. That is existence. Not this little physical frame. Not this mind filled with all kinds of thoughts, the loves and the hates and the anguish and the, you name it. That is not your existence. So it is because of the false belief in existence which you think is existence is causing all the misery. Huh? You understand now, baby? I'm sure. Oh, you little bugger. I'm just relieving the tension a bit. So, although the mind is possible of conceptions, it is still more possible of misconceptions. What does that mean? That you have been misconceived. You have been misconceived by your mother. But it was necessary to learn these lessons in life. But we can write this misconception into truer conception, into higher conception, into purer conception. And what is the purest of all conceptions? What is the purest of all conceptions? Is non-conception. You see? Non-conception of one's identity. That I am Jean, Jack, James, or John. That's non-conception. Conception stems with the mind in regarding yourself to be the I. I am Jean, I am Joan, I am Jack, and I'm John, which you are not. You're only a matter of name and form. Now, are you really you? Or are you just a conception of what you think that is you? I hope I'm not going too heavy. Do you really think that you are you? Or is it just a thought that makes you think that you are you? Is it just some form of little patterning that's formed in your minds over the ages which makes you think that I am something? And that very thought, my beloveds, is the cause of all fear. I exist. The mind says that. And the mind does not want to lose the existence, therefore it fears. Because to the mind, fear is not a continuation of life. Death, rather. Death is not a continuation of life, but death becomes a cessation of life. And that is what you fear. You do not want to cease life, yet understand this, and truly so, that life never ceases. Life is an onward process. Good. So where are you when you're fast asleep? Are you conscious of life? Are you conscious of your surroundings? Are you conscious of your wife or your children or your job or whatever? Huh? You're not. You're not. You are dead to life then. It's the same process. Same thing. 6 of one or half a dozen of the other. And that's all what death is about. There is no death. When you fall asleep, can you say, becoming totally unconscious of your surroundings, can you say that I am not living? You are living. You are alive. The stage I would like you to reach is this, and perhaps you will, if you are regular in your spiritual practices, that even during sleep you are totally aware. I've been through what they call sleep laboratories in Cape Town and in St. Thomas's here in London and what have you, and a few other places where they, these physicians and psychologists and psychiatrists wanted to test, and they found me fast asleep, measuring it on their machines. And yet, after I woke up, I could tell them everything that was happening in the room. I could tell them who walked in, who walked out, what happened and what did not happen. You see. So, to be aware, even in sleep, is the first stage to be aware of what is death. Because once you become aware of death, you will know and realize that there is really no death. You're just going from one room to the other, or changing one shirt and putting on another. That's all. Shirt and putting on another. That's all. Now, when this is understood, when this fear of the unknown is lost, then all the fears that one has in his or her mind will disappear. It will disappear. For the cause of every fear is the fear of the unknown. That is the basis of any kind of fear that you could suffer. And I would challenge any psychologist or psychiatrist to defy me on this factor. You see? So, The purpose of life is to be fearless and live life fearlessly. Why fear? Why fear? Why fear? What is there to fear? What is there to lose? What have you brought with you and what are you taking with you? Are you taking your wife with you? Are you taking your children with you? Are you taking your wealth with you? Are you taking your properties, your mansions, your whatever you got? You can't even take your BOLLS with you. You see? I've got to be blunt sometimes to drive a point home. So, the basic fear in the mind of man is of the unknown, and the unknown is death. Now, what happens after death? Would you like to know? Really? Yeah? I'll tell you if you want to. Oh, I'm so sorry that I landed up in England with a cold and running eyes, and I'm so sorry about that. But in future, as I said before, we're not going to combine a whole long 3-month tour of America and then mix up England with it, and it becomes a bit too much. Tiring to the body. Good. But through the mercy of God, when I sit down in my chair, all the tiredness just disappears. It's His mercy. What happens after death? And where do you go to? You go nowhere. For all the dimensions of the universe are contained here in the universe. When a person dies, he sheds the tired body. That it requires no more for further evolution, for further progress. And that means going back home to the source. He requires that no more. So he sheds the body. And yet, you can will your body to exist for many, many, many years more. For the weary too can go a long way. So now you have discarded the body. Okay. Good. What goes is your soul. Now, what is the soul? The soul is a composition, a composite wholeness of your being, which comprises of your thoughts, your ego self, the impressions of your actions, and that which you have found in the world as reactions. That is the soul. So, the soul being of a much more subtler quality. It has to go to a subtler dimension. It doesn't mean any place somewhere up there or down there or heaven and hell, that's all rubbish. Heaven and hell is here and now. Good. Now, whatever dominant thoughts you have in mind that has been dominating your life, that will have to be sorted out in that dimension. Now, being devoid of the physical body, the soul has a greater chance of evaluating itself. It has no encumbrances because the body could be very limiting. Now, without these physical encumbrances, the soul exists on its own. And what the soul does, it does not burn in the fire of hell or experience the joy of heaven. These are just conceptions put forward by organized religions. I was telling someone the other day, I think it must have been in a talk, that the two most richest organizations in the world is the church and the insurance companies. Did you know that? Because the church makes you live on promises of the hereafter, and the insurance companies promises you a lump sum of money after you're dead. Isn't it so? I'm not against these churches. Let them be. Why not? They could be very helpful for people at certain stages. Those of you that are attracted to me, to our organizer, to our family rather, not to me, I'm nothing, to our family, is people that want to know more than what organized churches could teach. And that is why we're together. Right. So now the soul. I told you what it is comprised of. And the only thing the soul does is this. It evaluates itself. It evaluates all the past existences of itself. It evaluates all the experiences it has experienced. And after evaluation, it comes to a decision in itself. Where must I be born, and to whom must I be born? So it means our children, we do not choose them, but our children choose us. And then the soul has to wait for the right moment to find the proper genetic combination between two people. The chromosomes and DNA and all that. I don't need to go into that. Don't need to go into science. It waits for the proper combination to take a rebirth into this school of life. You see. And why must it come to the school of life? To learn. And therefore I said, I don't know, yesterday, day before, or whatever, that we are in the learning process. There's no stepping back. It's always learning and going forward. And that is why we take birth until all the experiences that are gained, like a piece of string wound round your finger. So these various births we take only means rewinding. Instead of being wound up, we become unwound and back to our pristine purity. So, death can be experienced while you are living. Every moment when you go into a deep meditation, very few really do reach that stage yet, unfortunately. But it'll come, it must come. But if you reach the stage in that meditation that I reach, I am dead, and experience death and come back to life, and then go back to death and come back to life. What a lovely dance. You see. So, life and death alternates itself all the time. But let us be consciously alive and not deadly alive. And let us be dead consciously in life. Do you see the interaction? What I'm trying to point out to you is this, that there is no death, there is only life. For to repeat this over and over again, as I've done many times, that if divinity is omnipresent and immortal and eternal, and being omnipresent, residing in every cell of your body, how can God die? See? It is just this little mind that's ticking away because it does not want to lose possession of itself. And when it does not want to lose possession of itself, to repeat again to you, it comes up with all these fears of the unknown. And yet, I promise you this, I know this, I never speak from books, I speak from my own personal experiences, that there is no death. There is no death. The child grows up into adolescence. Has a child died in growing up into adolescence? And when the adolescent grows up into manhood, has the adolescent died? No. It's the same child, same adolescent, and the same man all the time. And that man, when he has grown into the spiritual stature that is required, he will start knowing what is divine and what is divinity. And knowing that, he will realize that there is no death and only life. Okay. I heard that bell there now.